Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Shout out to the A-side boxing community, hashtag ASBC. So with the news that I broke last night that the WBC have ordered a final eliminator for the WBC mandatory position, the official mandatory position between number 1 ranked Dillian Whyte and number 4 ranked Luis Ortiz. And of course, going by a lot of your guys' comments, now of course when I uploaded the video I didn't give too much thought. I'll just get the news out there for you all. And while I did acknowledge that Dillian Whyte does have an option, does he go carry on with the WBC route, become the official mandatory, even though he's already done 2 final eliminators, right? One against Robert Helenius and the other against Lucas Browne. Now people say, but he should have to go and face Dominic Breazeale, who's number 2. So you kind of have to ask, why did the WBC not order Dillian Whyte first, Dominic Breazeale, number 1 versus number 2? That would make logical sense, right? Yes, of course, WBC are making Dillian Whyte jump through hoops, while Dominic Breazeale had to fight Eric Molina last time out, right? That's what he had to do. And I think Dominic Breazeale was ranked, what, number 8 or something like that, and Eric Molina was ranked like number 12 or thereabouts. And the winner become, what they are saying, the mandatory. Dominic Breazeale was running around saying mandatory, I'm the mandatory. Deontay Wilder had no choice but to face me. So somebody somewhere has told him this. I've never heard of a ranked number 2 being the mandatory, I have to be perfectly honest. But again, people say, so why is it not number 1, Dillian Whyte versus number 2, Dominic Breazeale? Pretty obvious really, isn't it? Deontay Wilder is given a voluntary defence against Dominic Breazeale. Even though previously Deontay Wilder said that he would never ever fight Dillian Whyte because he is a former opponent of Anthony Joshua. He doesn't want Anthony Joshua's leftovers, is what he called it. But yeah, here he is fighting Dominic Breazeale, who Anthony Joshua schooled for all 7 rounds. Easy work. Much easier than what he found Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte rocked him. Scared the crap out of all of AJ's fans, right? So this is what's going to happen. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against Wilder versus Breazeale, okay? They have a bit of history, so why not? But for me, he keeps on ducking Dillian Whyte. And I know what you guys are saying, that, you know, here he goes, Sporting Icons, he's defending Matchroom just because of Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua and blah, 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 blah. Well, listen, right, I've never met Eddie Hearn, okay? He doesn't even know that I exist, okay? I'm not on the payroll, I don't do anything. Yes, I'm a British channel, but, you know, just letting you guys know that he doesn't even know who I am.
This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
You all need to stop being so paranoid, really. Now, Luis Ortiz, ranked number 4. And again, going by a lot of your comments, it's a case of he lost his last fight against Deontay Wilder. Now, usually when you lose your title opportunity, you pretty much either drop out the rankings or at least go hovering around about rank number 10, right? This is what usually happens, but he dropped 1 place. From number 3 to number 4, Alexander Povetkin overtook him. So, again, you could say, well, why is it that Dillian Whyte is not fighting Dominic Breazeale? It's pretty obvious, because Deontay Wilder is going to be fighting Dominic Breazeale. Eddie Hearn told you this months and months ago, that this was always going to be the plan. So he's just been using Joshua's name for profile. And then, of course, you could say, well, if that's true, then why are they not having Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin? Well, again, very simple. If Dominic Breazeale is going to be taking on Wilder, that means that AJ Wilder fight's not going to happen. Povetkin is a mandatory for Anthony Joshua through the WBA. So again, that rules him out. And then that's Luis Ortiz next. He lost his last fight. I agree with you. So maybe look past him. Joseph Parker. He lost his last fight. So then, who's next in line? Kubrat Pulev, who the IBF have already ordered for the final eliminator. So Dillian Whyte has a choice, IBF or WBC. But either way, whichever one he does, he's going to be waiting around for quite a while for a title shot anyway, as Anthony Joshua has already had his IBF in Carlos Takam. Originally supposed to be in Pulev, but then switched to Carlos Takam. And if he goes to WBC, of course, Deontay Wilder's already had his mandatory after 3 damn years, but he already had his mandatory in Bermane-Stiverne. So, for me, this goes to show the kind of oddballing that's going around with WBC, and it's leading people to be suspicious of them. Are they on somebody's payroll? Are they being paid to rank certain people in certain positions and for certain fights when certain fights shouldn't really be happening? Is that what they're doing? I have no idea. No idea. Again, we can only speculate, but it does seem pretty ludicrous with the way that they're doing things. But it would appear to most people that they are keeping Dillian Whyte away from Deontay Wilder. Dillian Whyte was made against Robert Helenius. Final eliminator. Didn't work. Again, argue with it all you want. This is what the WBC done. They said, okay, Lucas Brown then. So he beats Lucas Brown. He's still not the mandatory. So now they're saying Luis Ortiz. What happens? He beats Luis Ortiz and he's still not going to be the mandatory? Even though they've said it's going to be the mandatory. Why? Because they've already promised Dominic Breazeale. The WBC are absolute charlatans. That's what it appears so anyway. So it's interesting times. I mean, again, am I against Wilder versus Breazeale? No, not really. As I said, they have a bit of history. It's an interesting fight. It's a fight that I would favour Deontay Wilder, no doubt. I think that even though Joshua beats Wilder, I believe that Wilder will beat Breazeale in quicker time, quicker than 7 rounds, due to the styles. That's how I think it, or believe it even. So, yeah, it does appear that Deontay Wilder is ducking Anthony Joshua. Yes, Eddie Hearn is meeting up with his team tomorrow, Thursday, and it's a pointless exercise. I think they're going to pretty much admit, yeah, Dominic Breazeale is next. Even though Deontay Wilder, I mean, he could have made the Joshua fight. He could have been for undisputed right now, as it's not about money, it's about legacy, right? It's all about facing Anthony Joshua, because I promised my fans, I love my fans, it's all about legacy. I just want to be undisputed, I promise you. But he didn't even try to negotiate. Eddie Hearn is in fact having to go to New York to meet up with Al Heyman and Shirley Winkle. Of course, he's going over there anyway to promote his Matchroom USA tour, if you like, part 2. So either way, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But for me, I'm suspecting that if Deontay Wilder takes on Dominic Breazeale next, which is looking very likely, then Dillian Whyte takes on Luis Ortiz, become the official mandatory. That will then be official for the end of the year. Do you really believe that Eddie Hearn will say, no, Dillian, you are, I know WBC have just ordered a fight between you and Wilder, but I'm not going to let you, my guy, fight for the WBC title because I want Joshua to do it for undisputed. Do you think that's what he's going to do? No, of course not. He's going to go, all right, so Wilder, you had your opportunity, but here's the thing. My guy, Dillian Whyte, I believe he can beat you. So you are now going to have to face Dillian Whyte. And yes, I'm going to win the purse bid and I'm going to bring your ass to the UK. And when Dillian Whyte beats you, it will be Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua for undisputed and no Wilder because he's a mandatory. Guess what? You've been ducking him all this time. You could have had a rematch clause because he's mandatory. You ain't no more. Go screw yourself. Isn't that what you'd do if you were the promoter? Thought so. Drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.